This is a review on the Unipen 12 set of black ink pens that you get of different variation on the thickness of the nibs. So this is what the pens look like. In terms of cost, I got them for £9.99. That's pounds sterling. From Ryman's, they were reduced from £19.99, so from basically £20 to £10. That's not with shipping. One thing that you've got to be very careful of, these come in a very particular packaging, and the packaging is good quality. What I've noticed is on Amazon, people buying these sets of pens and getting them in a plastic bag. What I think is that's probably counterfeit, or there's something else that's shady that's going on with it. So these do not come in a plastic bag. They come in a proper packaging. I'll put the actual photo on the screen now so you can see what that looks like. And it's good quality and they're all secure, and that's how they should be. They shouldn't be in a plastic bag, which a lot of people on Amazon are complaining about. So yeah, but I got these from ryman.co.uk. And yeah, so that's the cost and breakdown. That's a bit of a warning if you're looking to buy these, because they're very good quality, but depends where you get them from. So yeah, so that's how they are with that. So let's just go through what do you get size wise with them. So I'll just go through these so you'll see what you get. So the absolute thinnest you get is 0.05. You get 1 pen for that. 0.1. Again, that's 1 pen as well. With a 0.2, you actually get 2 pens. So that's the first one. And the second one. 0.3, you get 1 pen. 0.4, again, the same thing, you get 1 pen. 0.5, you get 2 pens. 0.6, 1 pen. 0.7, you get 1 pen. And then finally with the last two is at 0.8, you get 2 pens. So that's what you get. This is all obviously based on millimeters, so 0.05 millimeters up to 0.8 millimeters, and that's the set of what you get. So how do they look in terms of lines and strokes? So the 0.05 I use quite a lot. You can get incredible detail with it, and the precision you get is just it's just unmatched. It's not so much for colouring, I want to say, or adding a lot of texture to one section. If you do have a small section, where let's say you've got this section here and you want to fill that in, then it definitely comes in handy and it's extremely precise. The one thing with the nib on this one, I mean, if I show you a little bit more up close, if it wants to focus correctly, there we go. It's extremely thin. It won't actually focus on it because it's too close. Here we go. The thing with this one is that pressing down hard, I'd imagine that nib is going to disintegrate pretty quickly. So that's the only one bit of caution with this with this level of how accurate it is, it's probably the thing that you don't want to do with this particular pen. I think from 0.1 upwards you can go a little bit more, but it just depends what you're doing. But you can see the difference in how when you go bold, they're all pretty much the same. If you go bold in terms of colour, it looks the same. It's just the thickness. You can actually, you can see that's where the difference is. Just in terms of straight lines. I mean, even with those, so we've gone from .05 thickness, 0.1, 0.2. You can see how it does go up in terms of thickness, but in terms of the quality and the stroke, very accurate, very smooth on the page. I am using this A4 paper, the same one I did in the previous review, so it is quite coarse, and obviously there are textures to it, so when you are drawing with these pens you do feel a little bit of resistance on this paper particularly, but it doesn't really hold back from the product itself. So one thing I think is a bit odd is the which pens you get double the amount compared to the others. For me, I would imagine that it would be better to have double pens on the lower end of the scale, because this is where you're going to do the most amount of detail rather than the upper end. Even though you've got 2 for 8, 2 for 5, 2 for 2, I agree with that. But yeah. Another thing about these as well, when you use them, they don't smudge. I use this on my Metal Gear Solid 4-piece, and you can actually see that it actually comes through after I've done the colouring, which is really what you want. You want the quality to stand through. So if I took this now and used the watercolours on top of all of this, they would you'd still be able to see them, and they wouldn't smudge and they wouldn't bleed. The one thing that I did do after that though is I did go back over some of the lines just to get it a little bit more refined, a little bit more popping off the paper. But yeah, if you're using these just to highlight, they'll work. If you're using them as a base to then start adding colour, start going on top, they work for that as well. Or if you use them just to highlight something to let it stand out a little bit more, they are pretty versatile for what they're intended for. And this is the sort of quality you're going to be getting from these pens. I mean, you can see the thickness going up in quality. The actual thicker pieces that I mentioned, there's no change in that. It just, the colour, the way they look, it's the same. But when you look at the actual individual lines and the strokes, you can see the gradual increase in the thickness, but it works on whatever art piece you're doing. That's the main thing with it. What I was using before, which didn't really help me, was same company. However, they're just way too thick. And that was the problem with these. I then bought a different pen, which was 0.4. And the quality was just, it's very different. And it's much cheaper as well, because it's just a non-brand I bought in Spain when I was out there. I don't know what's in it, I don't know where it's made, but it's all I could use at the time. And I just kept it. So yeah, but these are way, way better. So yeah, that's a brief review, I want to say, of the Unipen 12 black pen set. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching.